Okay, I hope you are getting my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So console, we'll just log in into console. This is the auto screen. Okay, so we'll be working on this today. Do I have any servers? Okay, there are no running servers. Okay, only one Ubuntu server is there. All the servers got deleted. Okay. So I think in the last time we have discussed, we have three types of load balancers. One is a classic load balancer. One is uh, network load balancer. One is application load balancer, right? So today we'll be working on any one of this load balancer. But even though there are three load balancer, almost the process will be similar only. Okay, so we'll see in a practical way. But as we know, we need to work on this load balancer. Once I'll share a picture with you. So let's say load balancer in AWS. Just try to see an example. Mm, okay. Okay, as you see in the screen, so what we shall be doing is the user will be putting the request to this load balancer. So just we are saying it as an elastic load balancer. This elastic load balancer might be network load balancer or application load balancer or classic load balancer, any type of load balancer. So as you can see, this is handling the traffic and equally distributing the traffic between the servers here. As you can see, there are two servers. One is located in US East 1A, US East 1B. Okay, so this might be any number of servers. Here right now it is in this picture. This load balancer is trying to control these two servers only. Then and in the real world there might be any number of servers. Okay, so it might be 10 servers, 50 servers, or 100 servers, no problem. Okay, but the only main thing what we need to do is we need to correctly configure our load balancer. Okay, so so in the practical way, so what we shall do is first we'll be creating two instances, and then we'll be connecting these two instances with a load balancer, and we'll practically see how this load balancer is evenly distributing the traffic between the servers. Okay, so getting into the practical part, as we know that we need to have two servers first. Okay, so we'll configure two servers. So instances, launch instance here. I'll try to create one Windows server today. So I'll say Windows load balancer server. So I'll be selecting Windows. So here you can select, I'm selecting a recent one only, so you can just try with other operating systems also. See, maybe most of the people working on this load balancer, they'll be trying this 2012 server or 2016 server. but no issue. We'll go with 2022 one, 2022 base. Scroll down, and here I'll be selecting t2 dot micro, which is a free tier eligible one, and I'll try to create one fresh key pair. So create a new pair. I'll say load balancer key pair. Okay. So after the class, we'll just please don't forget to delete your instances. Okay, as you know that right now we are creating multiple number of servers. Yesterday we have created around 6 or 8 servers. So if you keep on running them continuously, you might there might be charging you for that. So don't forget to delete your servers after the practice. Okay. So right now we have created one key pair, and I'll go with one existing security group. Select existing, and here I'll go with launch wizard one. Okay, this is my existing security group, and I'll go with that 30 GB, right? So as you know, I'll be needing two instances. So here I'll change the number to 2, such that it will create two instances for me. Okay, so click on launch instance. This should create two Windows Server instances for me. Okay, so I'll go back and check EC2 section instances. Right. Okay, as you can see, two instances are getting ready, and I'll give the numbering. I'll say Windows Load Balancer Server 1 save, and Windows Load Balancer Server 2. So I have created two servers, right? So after this, what you need to do is, so practically to make this happen, so the user here is placing request, right? So this, for this thing, what we shall do is, we are creating our servers. So what we shall do is, we shall try to host one website, and we'll try to access the website. So the user will come, and he will send a request for accessing the website. So the request will be not directly getting to your server. So first the user will be requesting it to the load balancer. That means your load balancer will be taking your user request. Okay, and this load balancer will take the decision to which server can it send. Okay, so the request will come from the user, and the load balancer will take the request, and the load balancer will take the decision for which server it need to send. Okay, so for taking this user request, what we shall do is, we shall try to host one website. Okay, so after hosting one website, we will try to access. Okay, so we shall host one website in our servers. So getting back, our servers are getting ready. Okay, initializing. I don't think we can connect to it now. Yeah, connect is there. So we'll keep our password ready. We'll generate a password and keep it ready. So click on RDP client. So we need to generate a password. So get password, upload key. Okay, this is my key pair, right? Decrypt the password. Okay. So now I can see the public DNS, admin username and password for one of my server. Okay, server number 1. Okay, so I'll get back, and I'll take this remote desktop connection and try to connect to it. Copy and paste. and username I'll take here, username and password. This is, remember that this is my server number 1. So as you know the hosting procedure of this Windows server. So first thing what you need to do is we need to install our web server. Okay. So after web server, then this IaaS services will be started. So I think all of you know how to host one website in Windows server. We'll do that again. Okay. Our server have been started. Refresh. So I'll go to server manager. Or else I'll just click on start. So here you can see server manager available. So as you can see there is no IaaS server, right? So without this IaaS server we will not be able to host our website. So first what we need to do is we need to install the IaaS server. So we'll complete that. So I'll click on add roles and features. I'll click on next, role based or feature based installation. Next, I'll select this, my IP address of the server, and click on next. So here, as you know, we need to enable this IaaS services. Okay, so I'll be installing this web server IaaS and click on next and click on next, click on next. So that would be sufficient and click on install. Okay, so the same thing you'll have to do for server 2 also. Okay, so I'll do that. So this is my server 1. So I will go back. So server number 2. So I'll follow the same procedure. I'll connect RDP client. So get password, upload the PM key, upload and decrypt the password. So this is for my server number 2. Okay. So I'm just configuring here. So I'll try to connect. So remote desktop. I'm trying to connect to server number 2. Connect, because as the installation process here is going on, in the meanwhile I can complete the configuration of my second server. Okay, so username, paste your username and then paste your password. Okay, this is my second server. So in the second server also I'll do the same procedure. I will install this web server, then my IaaS services will be enabled. Okay, I'll go to my start menu. then server manager, then I click on add roles and features. It's still starting. Okay, add roles and features, click on next, role based feature based installation, next, select your IP address, and here you need to enable this option called web server IAS. Okay, select this option, click on next, 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 and click on install. Okay, so now this is for the second server. I'll just go back to my first server and I'll check if the task is completed. So this is my server 1. Okay, as you can see on my server 1, feature installation completed. Close, and we shall go back to our C drive. In the C drive, I should be able to see a folder called inet pub. Okay, so let us see C folder, and as you can see, inet pub folder has been created. So inside this inet pub folder, there will be www root folder. Okay, so this is the default page for your web server. Okay, so to check this service whether it is working or not, what you can do is just get into this tools section, click on tools. Here you'll be seeing internet information service IAS manager, click on that. Okay, so here it will be running one default website for you. Okay, so go to sites. So here you can see a default website. So to explore that, what you can do is just click on it and click on browse. Okay, this will show whether it is working or not. I think this we need to enable port number 80, right? So port number 80 we need to add in our security groups, then only we'll be able to access this through port number 80. So first let us check whether it is working or not. Okay, start without your data. Right, as you can see this is the default page. Okay, so that means our IAS configuration is done properly. Okay, so but as you can see this is working inside our server, so we need to access it from outside the network. So how, what we shall do now, so we'll close this, and we shall try to connect with our server from public IP address. Okay, so as you know, we need to have this port number 80 open, then only we'll be able to access our website. So we shall just confirm whether our whether we have added port number 80 or not. So go to security. Right, in your security, as you can see, port number 80 has been already added. Then no problem, you'll be able to access your website. To access your website, simply you need to open your public IP address. Okay, so copy your public IP address and try to connect. Okay, right. So as you can see, we are getting a response. So if we are getting response, then the configuration is successful. Okay, so we'll just try to change this default page without hosting any new website. We just try to use this website only. Okay, so I'll go to my server. I'll close this. Okay, we know where is the file located. So the file is located here, inetpub and www root folder. Okay, so here without writing anything, I'll just try to edit this file only. If notepad is available, yes, notepad is there. Okay, so without doing all this, I'll simply I'll simply write one small thing. What will I say? I'll take h1 tag and I'll write hello, I am server 1. Okay, so just for your identification purpose, so where the response is going, so for that purpose I have written this. Or else you can write this multiple number of times, control C, control V, control V, control V. Okay, just for your reference purpose. Okay, first just for testing, then I'll close this. Now we'll try to place the same request from outside. Okay, so this is the public IP address, right? So now we'll put a request, so we'll just refresh this page and see. Okay, so as you can see, hello, I am server 1. Okay, so server 1 is responding. Okay, so similarly we'll do with the same with our second server also. Okay, we'll try to access our second server. So I think configuration of our first server has been done properly. Okay, configuration of server 1 is done. So I close the server. So this is the response coming from my first server. Okay, so similarly I'll work on the second server. I'll just open. So I think the installation is completed in my second server also. So I'll close. Okay, so now you should see that IAS getting enabled here. So it is in green color. So that means IAS is working properly. Okay, so I'll go to this tools section. So here I can see Internet Information Manager or services. So click on that. So again, you can just try to connect to your default page. So here is my default page, and I'll try to connect. Okay, so click on this browse website. So click on this. So it should open the website. So remember that we are now working on server number 2. So start without your data, just configuring this browser, continue without this data, confirm and start browsing. Okay, so as you can see, we are getting response in the local host. That means this IAS service, IAS is working properly. That means the configuration is done properly. Now we shall try to access it from the public IP address. Okay, as you can see, this is within the server local host. Okay, so now we shall try to access it through public IP address through the internet. So for that, we already know that you need to have this port number 80 open. If port number 80 is open, then only you will be able to do this HTTP request. Okay, so let us confirm. So we shall go to our security group, and we shall see if port number 80 is open or not. Okay, so this is server 1. So server 1 configuration is done properly. So go to instances. So this is my server number 2. Server number 2, I'll select, and I'll go to security. Inside my security, I'll be finding my security groups. So inside my security, so here as you can see, port number 80 has been added. So that means port number 80 is accessible. Okay, so I should be able to access my website. So get back. So connect to the server 2. So this is my public IP address. I'll copy and I will paste. Okay. So correct. So this is my server 2 and I'm able to access it properly, right? So here you can see this is the IP address of my second server. Okay. So as you can see this page is coming from this same, actually the same inetpub www root folder. Inside that there is my HTML document which is showing up here. Okay. So I'll just get back to my server here, right? So I'll go to this inetpub folder, close. So I'll open my C drive. Okay, in my C drive, just opening your C drive, you need to see this inetpub folder. Open inetpub folder. Inside that, you will be able to see www root folder. Okay, so this is the page which is showing up in our browser. So we'll make small changes to this. So I'll say open with notepad. I'll select notepad. So here I'll make small changes. So I'll just take one small tag h1 and I will say hello, I am server 2. Okay. So this is server number 2. Okay. So I'll just place this multiple time. Okay. So this is my server number 2 and my response should be this one. Hello, I am server 2. So close this. I have saved and now I will check it from outside through my public IP address. So I'll just refresh the page. Okay. So here you can see hello, I am server 2. So this is my server 2 response. Okay. And this is my server 1 response. Okay. So as you can see now, our server side configuration has been done properly. As you can see this picture, so we need to have two servers. So I have created two servers and I need to host one website. So I have hosted one website and for identification purpose what I have done, the response, this is the response I need to get from server 1. So I'm getting it in the same way on my server 2. I need to get this response. Okay. So just for the identification purpose, so whenever the request the user is sending to this load balancer, so load balancer need to uniformly distribute the traffic among these instances. Okay. So we'll see how exactly this load balancer will do that. Okay. So this part is done, configuration is done, and web server configuration is done, and hosting your website is also done. Okay. Now we shall be configuring this load balancer. I think before that we'll just note down the steps, just rough steps. Okay. So what we have done, create two servers, right? We have done, and so what we have done, we have installed Windows servers. We have done, so Windows servers we have done, and also any version you can keep. Any version is fine. Okay. So first part we have completed, and the second installed web server in both. Okay, web server, or we can say IAS server. Okay, in both servers, right? So we have done that also, and third part is uh, we need to check website, or else what we can say, uh, change the default page, right? We have done that, and check the IAS configuration. That means we are getting the output, right? So output in our local host, so we got it. So configuration. So change the default page and check the IS configuration. So this was working correctly on local host, right? So next actually what we have done is we have already got the security group. So that is why we haven't added any port number. So but it is important that you need to add port number also. So add port number 80 to security groups. So this we have to do manually because I have already existing security group. I haven't done this step. But if you're doing it in the first time, you need to add port number 80 to security groups. I hope you all guys know the procedure also. Okay, port number 80 to the security groups. Then fifth one is tested using public IP address for response. So we have done this also, and we got a response. Okay, as we have seen it practically. So this first part has been completed. So first we can initially say that step one, we can say configure your servers, right? So we can say configure servers. Okay, so configuration is done from one side, and we got the response. So step two, we'll say configure load balancer. Okay, so this we shall do. Okay, so now we'll go to this second step. Okay, so I'll go back, and here I could see that my both of my servers are working properly. So the configuration is also done. So second step, so you can just drop down here. So in the left section you can see load balancing, right? So in this section you can see two options. One is load balancer, and one is target groups. So first what we shall do is we shall try to create one target group first. Okay, why suddenly they have changed it to this older version. So basically we are working on newer version. So I'll just refresh the page again. How to change this to newer version? This one, no. Okay, in the left section only they have given this option. So basically what happens while using this EC2 is, so previously there are new versions of this. So one is this whatever the GUI which you are, the interface which you are seeing here has been changed. So previously so it is all because of the updates. So previously this user interface used to be a different one. So this is a newer one. So the thing is something in the screen actually the arrangements has been changed. So sometimes what happens is when your internet is slow, so what they'll do is they'll shift this interface to the older version. Okay, no problem. Actually, older version will also have the same option, but alignment and layouts will be little different. Okay, so I'll go to this load balancer. So here you can find. So we want this new, because we are working on this new EC2 interface. You can select this one. So it will change the user interface to the newer one. Okay, I'll scroll down. So as I told, we'll be first creating one target group. Okay, so first I'll also write the steps. So first one, create a target group. Okay, so click on target group. So as you can see here, so the basic configuration what we'll be doing is, we as we know that we are working on this instances. So we need to control the two instances, right? So that is why I'm selecting instances here. So parallelly you can also do using this IP addresses also. So this IP address options will come when you combine your local physical server and AWS server. At that time you can do. Okay, so right now we are working on all our instances are located on AWS. So that is why I'm selecting this instances option. Okay, so target group name. So we have to give a name. So I'll say target name. I'll say load balancer target group. So just for a identification purpose, I'm giving the simpler name. Okay. So port number is very important, as we know that we have already declared our port number 80 in both of our servers. Okay. I'll select local VPC. I'm not changing anything. Okay, HTTP one, I'm not changing anything here. And health check, so here you can select HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, for both of us, so right now we are working on only HTTP. You can just select HTTP here, no changes. And tags is optional, you can add or you can just leave it blank. Okay, then click on next. The very important, only one thing we have done here. So that is the, I think two things we have done. One is we have just selected our instances, the option as instances, because we are working on instances. So second thing is we have given a name. So then we have given port number, that's it. So click on next. So here it will be asking, so which are your servers. So that is, they are calling it as register targets. So I need to register my targets under this load balancer, right? So as you can see in this picture, there are two load balancer. So I need to register these two servers to this load balancer. Okay, so we need to register these two to this load balancer. So as you know, I got intentionally created two servers. So server number one and server number two, right? So I'll select both of them, one and two. I'm adding two servers to the load balancer. Okay. So as you know, the default is port number 80. Done. So then very important is, after selecting your servers, you need to click as include as pending below. Okay, so click on this, right? That means you have included these two servers under the load balancer. Okay, so these two load servers will be added to your load balancer. Okay, I've added these two. And as you can see, review targets these two, and then simply click on create target group. Okay, so this step has completed. So we have created target group successfully. Okay, so now you need to trigger the load balancer. Okay, so as we know, we have completed target group. Then come back inside the same load balancing section, you'll be finding load balancer. Okay, select the load balancer. Okay, so after selecting your load balancer, as you know, there are no running load balancers here. So we'll create a new load balancer. Okay, so click on create new load balancer. So right now, as I told, we'll be working on this application load balancer. Okay, so I'll select application load balancer for now. Okay, one second, I just charge my laptop. One second. Okay, so I have selected application load balancer. So I need to specify a name to my load balancer. I will say uh, I'll give the same name only. So application load balancer one. Okay. So here, what I'm selecting internet facing. As you know that we are all our requests are coming from public IP address. That means people who are outside of this AWS network. So if you select this internal, if it is totally internal communication between your AWS servers only. Okay, so basically we can also call as VPC, private networks. So our network is located outside, so we are connecting from outside networks, so that is why we are calling it as internet facing internet facing. So facing means it can be accessible to everybody through the internet. Okay, so I'm selecting, and one more option is it is asking which type of IP address you want. So as you know, there are two types of IP address. One is IPv4 and IPv6. So if you want to select both, so you can select IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, so right now I'll go with IPv4 address only. I'll select my IPv4 address, and here you can select. I think there is only one default VPC, and within our zone only they are giving us three availability options. So I'll go with three availability zones. They are giving three under this AP South only. One only, there are three options. Okay, I'll select three availability zones. So there is nothing wrong in this. So I've selected this, and again they're asking me for a security groups. So security groups, we have already security group for this load balancer. Okay, so I think already we are working on one security group. So we'll take the security group, same security group for all of this. So as you know, this is our default security group which have we have given for our servers also. I'll take this one. So, but what it is telling, so select up to five security groups. Okay, so maximum is five you can select. Okay, no problem. This launch wizard one is having our all default port numbers. Okay, right. So scroll down, and here what is saying. So listeners and routing. So important thing is now our in the previous step we have created one target group, right? So that target group will come into help here. So here you need to select your target group. Okay, so if you drop down, you know we have already created one target group. So just drop down. So here you can see the target group which we have just created. Okay, so as you know, so that is the reason we have created our target group first. Okay, so first we need to create target group, then you need to create your load balancer. Add this top step also. Create a load balancer. Okay, these two steps. Okay, so now I have attached my target group also. Okay, then I think almost all our this thing has been completed. The configuration part has been completed. So you can just simply click on create load balancer. In the second step, what we have done, first we have selected our load balancer, which is application load balancer. So here I have selected an option called internet facing, such that everyone from outside, even from the public IP address, will be able to access this. So then I have selected IPv4 address type. Then I have given this availability zones AP South 1A because I am located in this Mumbai region. So which is also the same AP South 1. Okay. So then I've selected this availability zone. Then I have provided my security group, right? So this is the same security group which I have also provided to my servers. So I'll scroll down, and here I'll be attaching my port number. Sorry, here I'll be attaching my target group which I have created earlier. Okay, so I've selected my target group, and then I'm asking it to create one load balancer. Okay, so create load balancer, right? So as you know, the load balancer has been created instantly. So to check our load balancer, we'll click on this view load balancer, right? So as you can see, the load balancer has been created, and also immediately you can just check the status here. It has not started yet. It is just started the process, right? It need to attach the servers, right? And also it need to start taking requests. So for that part, it will be taking some time. So in the meantime, so to check this, what you can do is you can just click on this refresh button multiple times, so until it completes your process. So it is still provisioning. So let it complete this process. So I'll refresh again. Right. Now as you can see our load balancer status, it is telling that it is active, right? So one thing you need to understand that in our instances section, so we have two servers here, right? So one will try to access our this our server one from outside. So if you open this public IP address, I think this is the one, right? I'm server one. So I'll refresh the page. So I'm getting the response. Similarly, if I say server number two, I'm getting the response. But actually, what happening is this IP address. What is happening is this IP address is taking directly to my server one. So if I take this server request, so it will be using this IP address, I'll be able to access to only my server number one. So if I take this IP address, I will be able to take this to the server number two. But as you know, the user won't be accessing this server directly, right? So in between there will be load balancer. So the load balancer will take the decision to which IP address it need to send, right? So what we'll be having is we'll be getting one IP address dedicated from the elastic load balancer. Okay, so the load balancer will also be providing you one IP address. So let us check into it. So why I have telling you is you cannot call this servers individually. So before that you need to have this load balancer, which is the decision maker. So this will take decision whether it should send here or whether it should send here. Okay, so we'll go there. So we'll go back to this load balancer section. So click on this load balancers. So as you can see, our load balancer is active. So just get the details of this load balancer by just clicking on the name, right? So here you can see it is an active condition. So you need to copy this DNS name. Okay, through this DNS name you will be able to access your load balancer. Okay, so copy DNS name, copy it. So now try to access with this. Okay, Control V. Okay, then click on enter, right? So as you can see, this is the link provided by the load balancer. Okay, so because as you can see in this picture, there will be multiple number of servers. Even if you are adding 100 servers also, this load balancer will take the responsibility. Okay, the duty of this load balancer is to uh, correctly uniformly distribute the traffic among these servers, whether it is 50 servers or 100 servers. Okay, so is its responsibility. Now as we can see, when I try to connect to this load balancer, it is taking me to server 1. So as you know, it should not always take it me to the server 1. So I'll do is I'll just refresh this page. So let us see to which server it will connect. Okay, so I'll just refresh this button. So it is taking on server 1 only. That means server 1 is freely available, it is taking. So I'll just try to repeat this multiple times. So again server 1, server 2. So second time it is taking my request to server number 2. So again if I refresh, it is taking me to server number 1. So again if I refresh, it is taking me to server number 2. Server 1, server 2, server 1, server 2. So now we can understand this practically. So practically what is happening, this load balancer is taking the responsibility and uniformly distributing the traffic among our servers, right? So we wanted to practically prove that. So now you can practically see, server 1 is taking the request, server 2 is taking the request, server 1 is taking the request, server 2 is taking the request, right? So as you can see, this is the IP address of our load balancer, right? So our load balancer is doing the job correctly. Okay, so this is the practical part which I want to show. And here also you can monitor how your load balancer is performing. So I'll say I'll take minimal matrix. Look, I'll go for 1 hour, right? So I think the amount of data is very very less. So that is the reason it is showing very less in the map. Okay, right? So I think we have done the practical of this load balancer, and practically seen that our load balancer is distributing the traffic among our servers, right? So the target group, in the main step, what we have done, we have registered our servers, right? So this is one of the important step which we haven't added. So here you can say create a load balancer, add target group, and third step we can say uh, access the load balancer, access the load balancer with DNS. I think what they are calling this as, they are calling it as specifically DNS name. Okay, so DNS name, name of load balancer, right? So here what was our observation? So observation, we have found accessed website using, we can say, we can also call it as LB. LB stands for load balancer. So DNS name, and found that uh, load balancer is distributing requests among both servers, right? So this we have found out. So this we have practically seen. Server number 2, server number 2, server 1, server number 2, right? Correct. So this is the process how we will be creating one load balancer. Okay, so now we shall see how to delete this load balancer, right? So again the process is same. So in our auto scaling group, what we have done first, so first we have deleted our auto scaling group, and then we have created launch configuration, right? So in the same way, what we have to do is to remove your load balancer. So I'll write down the steps. Remove load balancer. So first, what we have to do, first delete your load balancer first. First, you need to delete load balancer. Load balancer. Okay. So first we'll do that. So select your load balancer. Okay. So in this you'll get an option. Select your load balancer. Go to actions, and you can say, delete your load balancer. Okay. So delete load balancer. So again here you need to enter confirm. So confirm will delete your load balancer. Right. So now the load balancer has been deleted, and what you need to observe here is, if you delete your load balancer, parallelly your instances won't get deleted, right? So here you can see both your servers are running, right? Whereas in this auto configuration part, so auto scaling part, when you delete your auto scaling group, automatically your instances got deleted, right? Whereas in load balancers, if you delete your load balancer, your instances won't be getting deleted. So remember this point. So auto scaling, in auto scaling, if you delete your auto scale, automatically your instances will be removed. Whereas in load balancer, when you remove your load balancers, instances won't get deleted. So here you need to manually remove your instances. Okay, you can make that note. Delete load balancer. And second one, manually delete your instances. Okay, so manually you need to delete your instances. So second step also, I think you can add second step, before deleting your instances directly, you need to delete your target groups. So delete target groups. And after deleting your target groups, third one is manually delete your instances. Okay, so we'll do that. So this is my target group. I'll select, and I can click on delete. Okay, so yes, and delete. So target group deleted. Now I'll be able to delete my instances. Okay, so here I have selected my instances. So now I can go to this instance state and click on terminate instance. Okay, this will remove my instances completely. Right. So as you can see, it is shutting down. That means it will parallelly the background process has been started to remove my instance. Okay. And please, also, I'll request you to kindly check your dashboard in a regular way, because right now we are consuming so much of services, so that will impact your billing. So just observe your billings every day, or even alternative days also you can just check. So I'll see, because as you know, we have been working more than on 10 servers. We have created more than 10 servers and deleted them. So as you can see, they're asking me for $0.22. So let me check, so for which thing they are charging me. So here it is not available, so you can directly click on bills. Okay, I'll click on bills. So in that, all the details they'll be showing me. Okay, scroll down. So here you need to observe that. Okay, so here they will be providing you in detail for every section. So as you can see, in for light sale section, they are adding me this bill. So light sale services I have used, and for this light sale services they are charging me. So Asia specific. So as you can see, disk usage. Okay, disk usage they have charged me, right? So in detail they will be providing you for what they are charging you. Okay. So for this light cell section, I got build similarly elastic load balancing, and also remember that elastic load balancer is a chargeable one. Okay, for free tire, elastic load balancer is not there. So what you do is immediately after doing your practical part, please remove your load balancer immediately, or else they will charge you. Okay, so here you can see for 1 hour, so minimum to minimum we can use for 1 hour, so or else partial hour. So for that they have charged me 0.0239 dollars. So I have worked on this application load balancer. This is not for today, so previously for practical part I have done it. So for that they have charged me, so I think hardly I have used less than 1 hour only, but still they have charged me. So why I'm telling you this is, if you create a load balancer and you leave it in the background, automatically the charges will get applied. If you are leaving it for 24 hours, that amount will be very big. Okay, so don't do that. So remove your load balancer immediately after doing the practical. And also here, as you can see, they have been charging me for light sale. So light sale, just you can go to your light sale section. So I'll go for light sell, and if just check out if at all any pending services or any running services which are left out. In some cases what happens, we might be forgetting to delete our services. So just for your reconfirmation, you can go to your light sale and you can check the individual services. So I'll just confirm. So instances, there are no instances. Containers, no containers. Databases, no databases. Networking, no networking, I think I have not done any networking part. Then storages, I haven't created any storages. Domains, I haven't bought any domains or created any DNS. So then snapshot, just for the reconfirmation, if you are having any services which are running, you can just kindly remove them such that you can save from the AWS billing. Okay, so this is what you need to do, and regularly monitor your billing section. Okay, and that is it. I hope. I think if you take one new topic, it will take another hour. So we shall do one thing. I'll be available here. If you want to do any practical part, you can just do the practice, and I'll be available here to address your queries and doubts. Okay, so you can just do the practice, and if you're having any doubts, you can get clarified. And the other guys, if you are having any other works, you can just carry on.
సార్ వన్ స్మాల్ డౌట్ సార్.
Yeah, చెప్పండి.
మనం ఇప్పుడు ఏ- ఆ సర్వర్స్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి పర్టికులర్గా మీడియం అనేది డిఎన్ఎస్ వెబ్సైట్.
అవును.
ఆ డిఎన్ఎస్ ద్వారా మనం ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఏ సర్వర్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలన్నది లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ డిసైడ్ చేస్తుంది సార్.
అది డిసైడ్ చేసుకుంటది ఇంకా.
అంటే సెపరేట్గా ఉన్న ఐపీ అడ్రస్ పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్తో మనకి నీట్ అవసరం లేదు.
అది ఏంటి
ఓన్లీ
అంటే ఇండివిజువల్
కనెక్టెడ్.
సర్వర్స్ 1 to 1 అన్నమాట.
మరి సార్ వాట్ ఎవర్ సార్ విపిసి సార్, విపిసి మీన్స్
ఈపీసీ ఏంటి ఏంటి అంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలి అంటే అదంతా కాంప్లెక్స్గా వెళ్ళకండి. సో మోస్ట్లీ ఆల్ ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్ దే ఆర్ కమింగ్ టు దిస్, యూజ్ చేస్తే అన్ని కలిపి అన్ని సర్వర్స్ అన్ని కూడా ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్లోనే క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు. సో ఈ బేసికల్గా ఏంటి అంటే ప్రైవేట్ నెట్వర్క్ అన్నమాట. సో విత్ ఇన్ ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటారు కదా, సో వాళ్ళ కోసం చేస్తారు. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ విపిసి. అంటే బయట వాళ్ళకి యాక్సెస్ రానివ్వకుండా ఓన్లీ విత్ ఇన్ ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్ రన్ అయ్యేది అది. సో సెకండరీ ఏంటి అంటే కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ బోత్. ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఒక ఫిజికల్ సర్వర్ ఉంది నా ఆఫీస్లో. సో దాన్ని మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాకు టోటల్గా 5 సర్వర్స్ కావాలి. అందులో 2 సర్వర్స్ వచ్చేసి ఆ, నా ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నాయి. సో రిమైనింగ్ 3 సర్వర్స్ ఐఎమ్ taking from AWS. So 3 servers on Amazon, 2 servers on my local physical servers. సో ఇవన్నీ కంబైన్ చేస్తాం అనమాట. సో దాట్ ఆల్సో కెన్ బి కాల్డ్ యాజ్ విపిసి, వర్చువల్ ప్రైవేట్ క్లౌడ్.
ఓకే.
సో దాని గురించి పెద్దగా మనకేం టెన్షన్ లేదమ్మా, దాని గురించి పెద్దగా మనకేం అవసరం ఉండదు.